Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss a topic which is based on in electrotherapy, but it is mostly commonly used as a treatment in neuropathology. So the topic is functional neuromuscular electrical stimulation. Even though in the syllabus it is given as FNMS, functional neuromuscular stimulation, basically we have to go through normal neuromuscular electrical stimulation. So normal neuromuscular stimulation, when it is therapeutically as a combination therapy as an adjunct with functional task-oriented exercises, it becomes more effective. So we will be discussing both NMES, that is neuromuscular electrical stimulation, functional neuromuscular electrical stimulation, and also functional electrical stimulation, which is FES. So all of them, even though the terminology are different, and there is difference in application, but therapeutically the effects are mostly similar. So here you can see the functional electrical stimulation, the stimulation uh, given to the lower limb. Here you can see that the person is wearing a on his left leg apparatus, that is FS, which is being stimulating the lower limb. And here in the other picture you can see the devices, the electrodes which are used for stimulation, and the controlling devices, and the system device to uh, change the frequency, intensity, and pulse duration so that desired effect can be achieved. So different types of functional neuromuscular electrical stimulators are available in the market. So we can say that as introduction, cyclical neuromuscular electrical stimulation, commonly called as neuromuscular NMES, or functional electrical stimulation, is applied by a pre-programmed scheme which causes repetitive muscle contraction with or without the active participation of the patient. So either when you make it functional, it is actually with the active participation of the patient most of the time, except in cases where we use it as a neuroprosthesis. Otherwise, it is mostly functional neuromuscular stimulation is with the active participation of patient. But if you are only giving NMES, it is without the participation of the patient, but even that has proven to be effective to improve the muscle strength. So this actually is a can be considered as a part of the approach in which we are muscle strengthening approach. NMES or FNMS or FES can be considered as a part of the muscle strengthening approach. So this passive, so when it is a passive neuromuscular stimulation, where we don't ask the patient to do any particular activity for functional activity, even that was also reported to produce increased muscle strength. In contrast, so nowadays, even more updated version of FNMS, the EMG triggered functional electrical stimulations are much used, because the EMG triggered is more useful, and it detects the when the patient is trying to voluntarily uh, do some action which we are demanding from the patient, he or she is trying to do, but enough motor firing is not happening. So this will be detected by the EMG electrodes, and this when it is not reaching to a desired motor unit contraction or firing, this will trigger the FS, that is functional electrical stimulator, to add the additional stimulation. So normally what the patient does is a physiological stimulation. Now when the physiological stimulation is not adequate, then the EMG will trigger, and then the artificial stimulator, that is electrical stimulation, is applied to the particular motor point where already we have set the electrodes. So this will improve the function, and later on it will naturally improve the muscular strength also. So in contrast, the myogram, that is EMG triggered functional electrical stimulation, that is we call it as EMG FES or EMG FNMS, involves initiating a voluntary contraction for a specific moment until the muscle activity reaches a preset threshold level, and then an assisting electrical stimulus begins. So whatever the patient is able to do, he or she will do. That is what we call as a preset threshold level. Then after that, the assistance will come from the artificial electrical stimulation. Compared to passive electrical stimulation, voluntary initiating motor actions is known to be more effective in strengthening the muscles. So if the question comes that which electrical stimulation, whether the active electrical stimulation, which we call as functional electrical stimulation, is better than voluntary, that passive stimulation where in NMES. So there is no doubt the active stimulation is more effective in strengthening the muscles. But even though NMES also is proven to be effective in strengthening the muscles. Moreover, EMG FES requires cognitive involvement. When we are talking about active participation, here the patient's motor cortex is involved. So that is also very, very important. Improvement following EMG FES was reported to be accompanied by changes in somatosensory cortex activation as measured by functional magnetic resonance imaging. So applying EMG FES along with the, that is the functional activity, helps in involvement of somatosensory cortex activation. So this has been proven by functional magnetic resonance imaging. fMRI, which can show the physiological changes happening in the body, that is especially in the brain, during EMG FES, is showing that the somatosensory cortex activation is also present during functional activity. So functional electrical stimulation was developed more than 30 years ago as an orthotic system, replacing, or now like in a system where we use orthosis. So FES was developed for correction of the deformity or support of the deformity, which is the orthotic system, replacing conventional braces with motor responses elicited by stimulating the common peroneal nerve during walking. So first FES used was around 30 years ago, when FES was given and the electrodes were placed on the common peroneal nerve, which was, which we all know is activates the dorsiflexors. So during walking, the dorsiflexor action, the patients in foot drop, and in hemiplegic patients where the dorsiflexors are not active. So in these patients during walking, FES was applied almost 30 years ago. FES has been used to restore a variety of movements, including walking, and was first reported by spinal cord injury subjects. SCI means spinal cord injury subjects in 1899. So around 30 years, exactly 30 years ago, this FES was first used to improve the gait pattern of patients who were having foot drop. So this approach, however, has not been widely used in the rehabilitation for a number of technical reasons. The stimulators were bulky, unreliable, prone to breakage, and expensive those days. Nowadays it has changed. The FES has changed. Much better, bulkier machines are not. The machines have become very small machines and very lightweight machines. So recent studies of simple system of FES, functional electrical stimulation, assisted walking, a common peroneal nerve stimulator, showed an increase of walking speed. So after the study was conducted, an increase in walking speed was found, and also reduction in the consumption of the oxygen during gait. So neurophysiology of NMES. What is happening inside when you are applying in the nerves? What is happening inside the nerves? So physiological changes in the nerves while applying NMES or neuromuscular stimulation or any kind of stimulation. We are talking about functional or FES or FNMS. The NMES is initiated with the excitation of the peripheral nerve tissue. When we apply a artificial stimulation, it starts with the excitation of the peripheral nerve. We are talking about the peripheral nerve. So in the upper limb, it is a brachial plexus. So whichever is going to ulnar nerve, radial, all those nerves are in the peripheral nerves. Same way in the lower limbs also. So this peripheral nerve tissue excitation is for what we see first. The mathematical characterization of neuronal action potential generation. So for any excitation, we all know that the neuronal action potential generation has to happen. It's largely predicated on the seminal work of. So when you study the history of electrotherapy, we all know that it all starts with the neurophysiologists such as Galvini, Lapik, Hodgkin, and Huxley. These are the very famous names in the field of neurophysiology and especially in the electrophysiology as well as electrotherapy. So more recently, they also talked about the mathematical characterization of neuronal action potential generation. So recently, McNeil mathematically. So when you're talking about Galvini, we are talking about 16th century. So it started from that time. But now, more recently, McNeil mathematically defined the time course of events following stimulus to the propagation of the action potential in a normally healthy myelinated nerve. In a normally healthy myelinated nerve, recently study conducted by McNeil, and he has defined the time course of events following stimulus to the propagation of the action. You all know that the action potential has to develop and this has to propagate, and this propagation is what we call as activation, facilitation. The term stimulus threshold defines the lowest level of electrical charge that generates an action potential. Stimulus threshold means the minimum amount of electrical charge which is required to generate an action potential. The all or none phenomenon of the action potential produced by natural physiological means is identical to the action potentials by the NMEs. So here we are trying to understand when you are talking about the neurophysiology of stimulation, electrical stimulation, we have to understand the normally without any stimulation, healthy people how they contract their muscles, how what is the method of action potential production as well as propagation. So even though it is the when you're talking about all or none phenomenon, the both the normal physiological stimulation as well as the artificial stimulation, the production action potentials are mostly identical. Clinical NMEA systems stimulate either the nerve directly or the motor point of the nerve proximal to the neuromuscular junction. So it can be either on the nerve, the NMEs can stimulate the nerve as well as the nerve proximal to the neuromuscular junction. The nerve fiber recruitment properties elicited by NMEs differ from those elicited by normal physiologic means. An action potential produced by normal physiological mechanisms initially recruits the smallest diameter neurons prior to recruitment of the larger diameter fibers such as alpha motor neurons. So here, when the normal physiological mechanism, you all have to understand that first stimulation recruits only the small diameter neurons such as alpha mode. Then only they go for the larger motor fibers. So larger motor neuron fibers such as motor neurons are all larger. Alpha motor neurons are larger, what we call as bed cells, so larger motor neurons. So these will be stimulated later on only. First the smallest diameter neurons are stimulated where in the normal physiological mechanism. In the NMES is dependent on an intact alpha lower motor neuron. Several studies document the therapeutic benefit of electrical stimulation on the muscle fiber regeneration in LMN reinnervation. So NMES, when we apply directly, it is going to stimulate the large diameter only first alpha motor neuron. But in the normal physiological, we will use first the smaller diameter neurons only, then we will use the alpha motor neurons. So the scientists are talking about the effective use of intact alpha in LM motor neuron lesion is that's why we see that the electrical stimulation is more effective in the recovery in the LMN injuries. NMES is